I think I'm just brunette because of the books.
And everyone knows blondes are nicer anyway.
Blake Lively's Hollywood image might seem polished and pristine, but behind the scenes, she's had beef with more than a few celebrities, and some of the names might seriously surprise you. Let's rewind. Before Blake and Ryan Reynolds became Hollywood's golden couple, he was married to Scarlett Johansson. They tied the knot in 2008 and split in 2010. And guess what else happened in 2010? The filming of Green Lantern, starring Ryan and Blake. Production kicked off in March and wrapped that August, and according to people on set, the chemistry between Ryan and Blake was undeniable. The giggling, the flirty banter, the constant touching. It didn't take much to see sparks flying. But here's where it gets messy. Both were very much in relationships at the time. Blake was dating her Gossip Girl co-star Penn Badgley, and Ryan was still married to Scarlett. Then came the press tour. And if there was ever a moment to read between the lines, this was it. Their interactions oozed something more than friendship. Sure, they kept it just friends for the cameras, but insiders said they were constantly sneaking off alone. Ryan even later admitted that he knew he crossed a line. 3 months after the press tour ended, Blake broke up with Penn. And that same month, Ryan and Scarlett announced their split. Scarlett's side of the story? She reportedly said Ryan was barely ever home by the end of their marriage, but her comments didn't stop there. In a later interview, Scarlett opened up about the challenges of dating another actor. She didn't name names, but fans did the math. The logistics of being with another actor are tough, she said. Even if one person is more successful, it becomes competitive. Given she's now married to SNL's Colin Jost, a comedian with a very different career, people believe she was definitely talking about Ryan. And it gets deeper. A Daily Mail source claimed Ryan could be an overbearing control freak, and that Scarlett's growing success made things worse. He was traditional, she was fiercely independent. Fast forward to the drama surrounding It Ends With Us, where Ryan reportedly rewrote some of Blake's dialogue, and fans started wondering, is he used to controlling his partner's professional life? Then came the bombshell. A waitress once claimed she saw Blake and Ryan on what looked like a romantic dinner date in December 2010. It was just the two of them, she said. They were laughing, flirting. If you didn't know who they were, you'd think they were a couple. That was the same month Ryan and Scarlett announced their divorce. No wonder the internet's convinced Blake played a role in their breakup. Now, none of the parties have ever confirmed these allegations. But Ryan and Blake did later speak about how they got together. According to them, it didn't happen until a year after Green Lantern. Ryan explained, "We were buddies. I remember we went on a double date. She was with another guy, I was with another girl. So, the official story, they didn't realize they were into each other until after they were both single. But recently, that story got a major shakeup. Writer Kat Marnell, who's worked with Glamour and Vice, dropped a now-deleted tweet claiming that Ryan did cheat on Scarlett with Blake. Her exact words? Fun fact, Blake Lively and Ryan Reynolds hooked up when RR was still married to ScarJo and holed up in a NOLA hotel room during Green Lantern. FYI, Green Lantern was filmed in New Orleans, which lines up perfectly with Kat's claim. And team also alleged that Blake and Ryan shut down media coverage of their early romance by threatening the reporters involved. Whether that's true or not, it definitely added fuel to the cheating rumors. And here's where things still get icy. Despite working in the same industry, Scarlett reportedly can't stand Blake. Insiders say their feud runs deeper than professional jealousy, and that Scarlett blames Blake for her marriage falling apart. It's been said that the two women actively avoid each other at industry events. If Blake's going to be there, Scarlett's team makes sure she won't be. The tension? Still very real, even after all these years. And while Scarlett's never publicly addressed Blake by name, people close to her say there's lingering resentment. The kind that doesn't fade with time. Even Henry Golding, who co-starred with Blake in A Simple Favor, admitted he felt intense pressure on set. He hasn't thrown shade, but it speaks to the strong energy Blake brings, for better or worse. So while Blake may shine on screen, her off-screen relationships tell a much different story. And in Hollywood, those feuds have a way of catching up with you.
Anna Kendrick and Blake Lively had a feud while filming A Simple Favor.
I think they got on pretty reasonably well, I think.
While A Simple Favor made Anna Kendrick and Blake Lively look like besties on screen, things behind the scenes were a whole different story. Henry Golding, who starred alongside both actresses, has subtly hinted at the tension he felt while filming. At first, he said he was thrilled to work with 2 actresses he admired growing up. But then he added, "It was quite a small set. It's easy to get very nervous about it. And there were certain days where I was like, what am I doing? Why am I here?" That doesn't exactly sound like someone having the time of their life. Henry later admitted he often questioned his confidence on set. And while that might have come from being starstruck, fans think there was more going on. Specifically, the alleged rift between Anna and Blake may have made things uncomfortable for everyone involved. When Henry was asked directly about the feud rumors, he tried to brush it off, saying they got along well. But he did not sound convincing. In fact, he seemed nervous, like he was tiptoeing around something bigger. So what really happened? According to several insiders, Blake and Anna clashed hard while filming the original A Simple Favor in late 2017. The feud reportedly started over, of all things, Taylor Swift. Anna allegedly made a joke about Taylor, and Blake, who happens to be one of Taylor's closest friends, was not having it. The tension between the 2 actresses was so noticeable that it fueled tons of speculation online. Some sources said they couldn't stand to be around each other unless the cameras were rolling. Others claimed their entire dynamic was ice cold between takes. And yet, despite the drama, they somehow reunited for the sequel, which wrapped filming in April 2024. Fans were shocked, considering the rumored tension during the first film. But Hollywood has a way of putting the show before the truth. So while Anna and Blake might smile for the press, those who were there say the vibe on set was anything but friendly, and with all the whispers, awkward interviews, and lingering tension, it's safe to say this Blake Lively feud isn't just a rumor. It's a red carpet Cold War.
I've met Blake a few times through Ryan on that film.
Got it.
And thought she seemed nice, and little did I know.
Yeah. How quickly do you...
Don't touch me.
Anna's also been accused of being rude to staff and everyday people, which makes it totally believable that she may have said something shady about Taylor right in front of Blake.
Oh, Muffin, it's so hard being you.
No, but like, I really would really like to be a Disney princess.
I'm sure that dream will come true. I'm
sure there's
because a dream
Disney...
is a wish your heart.
A podcaster claimed they heard from someone who worked on set that Anna and Blake also butted heads over how much cleavage showed on the poster. Anna especially was competitive with Blake. She kept asking for more promo than Blake and even made us Photoshop her cleavage in a Simple Favors poster to look as big or bigger than Blake's. And later, during an interview, their awkward body language made it pretty clear things between the co-stars weren't exactly friendly.
Like smooth as pie, it should be smooth as silk or whatever.
Easy as pie.
Yeah,
Right.
and smooth as silk. But my mom, I think, is a very confident person, and so for me, yeah, I sort of like struggle.
Even though the 2 actresses still follow each other on Instagram, Anna once hinted she's grateful for the mute feature, strongly suggesting she's already used it on Blake. That little digital cold shoulder says a lot without saying much at all.
I've muted some people. Now that it's a function on Twitter and Instagram, there's a couple people that I have muted.
Good.
Yeah.
More behind-the-scenes drama from A Simple Favor started to leak thanks to a shared screenshot from a crew member confirming that Anna and Blake couldn't stand each other and completely stopped speaking by the end of filming. They were reportedly acting like full-blown enemies until the studio stepped in and told them to pretend to be friendly during the press tour. But that didn't exactly smooth things over. Their interviews were packed with awkward moments masked as jokes, but fans weren't buying it. In one interview with BuzzFeed, they brought up a schedule change that left Anna waiting for Blake for over an hour. Anna said, "That was the day I decided I hated you. We were all talking trash about you," and later repeated the same line to Blake's face during the press tour. Thankfully, the feud may have been buried when they reunited to shoot the film's sequel, but Blake's on-set tension doesn't end there. Her relationship with Gossip Girl co-star Leighton Meester wasn't exactly cozy either. While they weren't sworn enemies, they also weren't the Serena and Blair besties that fans hoped they'd be. There were constant reports of clashing, whether it was over costumes or screen time. The feud reportedly escalated in the final seasons, with both women determined not to be outshined. A wardrobe drama also flared up when Leighton got a higher costume budget, and Blake, who by then had more fame outside the show, was upset that such a decision was made without her input. In 2017, Gossip Girl executive producer Joshua Safran confirmed that Blake and Leighton were never close, saying they were friendly, but not friends like Serena and Blair. And even though there was no major conflict, rumors swirled that they started avoiding each other and castmates were forced to take sides. Now let's talk royalty, literally. Blake caught some backlash after subtly mocking Kate Middleton over that infamous retouched photo. At the time, Blake posted an obviously edited pic of herself by a pool to promote her cocktail brand. But the timing was off. Kate later revealed her cancer diagnosis, and Blake quickly apologized, realizing the weight of the moment. Blake also once dated her Gossip Girl co-star Penn Badgley, and while their romance had some cute moments, like Blake buying him his first iPhone and stopping him from drinking, it ended in heartbreak. Penn later admitted he was crushed, and that filming with Blake after the breakup nearly broke him. He described that period as dark, saying his life felt like it was stuffed into a trash bag. His now wife, Domino Kirka, revealed that Penn was a little lost when they met. Penn himself described those 6 years working with Blake post-breakup as an endurance test. Then there's Leonardo DiCaprio. Blake had a brief but intense fling with Leo in 2011, and while it only lasted 5 months, it made headlines. She wasn't a Victoria's Secret model, but at 24, she still fit Leo's type. The couple took glamorous vacations, went on romantic dates, and shared a bizarre inside joke. Blake would reportedly send him photos of a doll to express her emotions. The context remains a mystery, but it's widely agreed. That's kind of creepy. The relationship fell apart when Leo wanted to take things to the next level. According to Us Weekly, an insider shared, Blake wasn't ready to move to the next level. It was just too much, too quickly. The split hit Leo hard, so much so that he locked himself in his trailer while filming The Great Gatsby. Director Baz Luhrmann was reportedly frustrated by Leo's behavior, and it added serious tension on set. Not long after, Blake started dating Ryan Reynolds, and the rest is history, but not without another twist. In 2016, Blake and Leo crossed paths at the Amphar Gala in New York, with Ryan right there. Sparks flew again, literally. Witnesses say Leo kept winking and grinning at Blake every time she walked by, and she struggled to avoid eye contact. Ryan reportedly became furious and told Blake to stop looking at Leo. He didn't want Leo to catch on that he was jealous, especially since he shares such a strong bond with Blake. Since then, Blake and Leo have had little to no interaction. Their lives have gone in completely different directions, and Blake is happily married now. But Leo has allegedly thrown shade at her for being too obsessed with curating a perfect public image. Now here's the shocker. Zendaya may have thrown some subtle shade at Blake during the Michael Kors fashion show. According to body language experts, Zendaya's vibe toward both Blake and Emily Blunt seemed a little frosty, and Emily appeared to catch it.
I was worried that she was flashing her vagina, so it might have been something to do with that. Zendaya doesn't look very happy, though, with our jokes.
Zendaya clapped back at the speculation with a short but sharp tweet, writing, "I was looking at the runway." That one line shut down a lot of the noise, at least from her end. But speaking of subtle shade, Blake's It Ends With Us co-star, Brandon Sklinner seemed to throw a dig of his own. During an interview, he was asked about working with Blake, and while he didn't get too specific, his tone said a lot. He said,
I could tell you it's...
You could say like really nice things.
I'm just a really good actor, you know? I'm a really good actor. Everything was really challenging with Blake.
And finally, we've got Justin Baldoni. While he hasn't directly dissed Blake, the behind-the-scenes drama around It Ends With Us speaks volumes. From backlash about the casting to production delays, things got so heated that Justin reportedly brought in a crisis PR team to manage the chaos. But what really raised eyebrows was when he quietly announced that he wouldn't be directing the sequel. It Starts With Us. For many, that felt like a subtle but loud message.
I think there are better people for that one. I think Blake Lively's ready to direct. That's what I think.
Apparently, Justin was trying hard to be professional about their alleged feud over directing and taking charge of their recent production.